It's another edition of Kaleidoscope right here on Channels Television. Hello and welcome. I'm Anne Nwawadu. On the program today, we're set with the Managing Director and CEO of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Samuel Obuku, as we discuss the progress the Commission has made so far and its plans for the future. Once again, welcome to Kaleidoscope. The Niger Delta Development Commission is an establishment aimed at bringing development to the oil-rich Niger Delta region. But let's find out more about the NDDC.
The Niger Delta Development Commission is a federal government agency established by former President Olusegun Obasanjo in the year 2000 with the sole mandate of developing the oil-rich Niger Delta region of Nigeria. In September 2008, the late former President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua announced the formation of the Niger Delta Ministry, with the Niger Delta Development Commission to become a parastatal under the ministry. The NDDC was created largely as a response to the demands of the population of the Niger Delta, a populous area inhabited by a diversity of minority ethnic groups. During the 1990s, these ethnic groups, most notably the Ijaw and Ogoni, established organizations to confront the Nigerian government and multinational oil companies. The minorities of the Niger Delta have continued to agitate and articulate demands for greater autonomy and control of the area's petroleum resources. With a mission and vision aimed at offering a lasting solution to the socio-economic difficulties of the Niger Delta, the NDDC is determined to make a positive difference in the oil-rich region and Nigeria at large.
The Niger Delta Development Commission was established in 2000 with the aim or the mandate of developing the oil-rich region in Nigeria. But let me also talk about your mission statement, which I'll read now. The NDDC is meant to get a lasting solution to the socio-economic difficulties in the Niger Delta region. So 23 years down the line now, this is 2023, how much impact do you think this commission has made so far since inception, honestly?
Well, the NDDC has done so much because you go across the region, there is virtually no local government that you will not find NDDC projects littered all around the place. Most of these projects are not commissioned, but they are being used. And everything depends on the area of success we're looking at. Yes, some persons measure it based on legacy projects. We believe that, yes, NDDC should embark more on regional and legacy projects. But NDDC have done a lot of road constructions, bridge constructions. But right now, we think it is time to change the narrative, to go into more of regional projects that will impact more on the life of the people. Because Niger Delta 23 years ago and Niger Delta now is not the same. The challenges we had 23 years ago and the challenges we have now are not the same. So whatever projects that were done 23 years ago probably were the projects that were done based on the challenges as at that time. Now we have more and bigger challenges. Like right now, in the past 15 years, we've never encountered the kind of flood we're encountering now. So these are new challenges. We are talking about global warming, climate change. So we are confronting bigger challenges. So we have to also up our game as an interventional agency. So these are the things we are looking at. So by my own assessment, I will not say NDDC have failed. NDDC have tried, they've done their best, but I think we can do more.
So talking about doing more, I know you have done a lot in the last 23 years, but there are also rumors or talk about incomplete projects, abandoned projects in some areas. But for the sake of those who actually ask, what does NDDC actually do and what has it done so far? What are some of those major projects you've carried out in the past, to be specific?
Well, talking about, let me start from the incomplete project and abandoned projects. One of the major problems that have bedeviled NDDC too is the issue of instability in administration. Because sometimes people are appointed, they are not there to complete their tenure, and a new management and a new board comes in. That board abandoned the project of the previous administration, they start their own, those ones are abandoned. But if the people are given the opportunity, as they have 4 years tenure, to complete their tenure, definitely they have to finish what they started. And anything that happens within that period, both the liability of failure and success should be upon them. So, and when there is so much instability, Some of the people, I understand that, they are always scared they don't know of what is going to happen tomorrow. So that instability also affects the process of contract and the process of contract administration. And another problem is also the process of budgeting, because you find out a situation whereby a project that is worth 10 billion, the provision in the budget is 200 million. That means you're saying that project should be completed in 30 to 40 years. And that is not good enough. So I think these are some of the things that have caused the problem of incomplete project and abandoned project. However, in order to repair that situation, we are looking at in our 2024 budget to see how we can have a compact budget where some of these issues should be taken care of. Any project we are putting in our budget should be a project that should have at least a maximum of 4 years life cycle. Because if it is a 4 years life cycle, that is to say you're going to start it and finish it. But you don't need to have up to 10,000 projects in your budget and you are not going to achieve up to 5% of it. So we are trying to see how can every state to have its own threshold of projects that will be in the budget. So that we are looking at projects that will start and finish. Depends on the life cycle of the project. The major project, NDDC have completed the Ogbianembe Road, which is 27 kilometers long with about 7 bridges. 9.5% of it is on swamp. So it's a very, very major project, and NDDC achieved that through partnership with SPDC, Shell Development Company Limited. So I think NDDC have achieved that. NDDC have achieved a lot of projects. You talk about the injection substation that we're about commissioning in Ondo State that will give light to about 8 to 9 local governments that have been in the darkness for the past 12 years. We have a lot of road projects all over the place that NDDC have completed. So I think some of these projects, I believe, they are major, major, major projects. You go to Delta State, you go to Imo State. NDDC have embarked on a lot of land reclamation, where people who never had land, at least today they have land. So NDDC have invested a lot in infrastructural development in the region. But very soon, most of these projects will be commissioned for the people to see. Some of these projects have not been commissioned, so people just assume nothing has happened. So we are also trying to tell our own story too, by commissioning these projects for people to see what NDDC have done over the years.
Let's talk about women, people living with disabilities, and children, especially dropouts. The board's chairman recently had made a commitment by telling those who visited her, that's a coalition of female NGOs, that she will pay more attention, or the organization will pay more attention on these category of people. What will you be doing differently this time?
Well, I think the most important thing is putting together a proper policy framework that will guide our training process. Because we've done a lot of training programs. And one question I ask is, can you keep a tab on those whom we have trained? Where are they? Some of them, we don't even know where they are. Some of these people, you train them, you want to do another training program, the same persons you see. Some of these people, during the training program, they sell off their starter pack. Some of them are only there because maybe they just want to get the seating allowance. So we thought it is because there's no proper policy framework guiding the training programs. So what we are doing is to put together a proper framework guiding training programs. And for every training program, we should look at where is this training program going to end. If we want to train women, if we want to empower women, where are they going to end? It is not just training them and just leaving them on the streets. We must have a beginning and an ending point. So one, for training, we are looking at, first of all, collating data of youths, women, and entrepreneurs in the region. So that is ongoing. The portal will soon be open so that we have this data. So that based on the data, we will know their needs. It is not just sending people for training without you knowing their needs. They will also explain their needs. So we're now picking based on who you are, your needs. Because sometimes this training, it is highly political. If they say they want to train people, sometimes it becomes partisan. Sometimes you have MD's list, you have this board members list, you have politicians list. And when people populate the list based on political interest, and in terms of entrepreneurship, because we also want to encourage entrepreneurs in the region. Because if you look at the Niger Delta, most of the programs federal government organizes for youths in the region are basically more of amnesty, 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 ex-militants. So some person just assume maybe you have only ex-militants in the region. We have, I can assure you that in the region, we have technocrats in the region. We have people who are doing well in agriculture. We have people who are doing well in IT. We have people who are doing well in different fields, even artificial intelligence. So we want to encourage this, but with the data we have, we now know how to get them. We are going as far as partnering with people who are setting up the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce. So the Chamber of Commerce, we also have the data, which we share. So if we want to do any empowerment program for entrepreneurs or for youths, they have to give us the list, because these people must be people that are part of the Chamber of Commerce. Thereby, there is no political interest. So if you are the one giving us the list, that means you must have verified their means of business. And if you verify their businesses, that means you're giving us a list of people that are doing genuine business, that if we support them with anything, they will grow their business. We may not necessarily say, pay us back the money in 2 years or 3 years. And if the Chamber of Commerce is bringing it, that means the Chamber of Commerce must be accountable for the names they are giving to us. We are not saying go and bring one guarantor. You might bring one of your uncle as a guarantor, and the vendor you cannot pay. Your uncle probably does not even have anything to pay. No, but at least the Chamber of Commerce is going to be registered with government. So we believe responsible people from the region will be the ones who drive the process. So they will give us a list of persons who are doing real business. So now we might be saying, don't pay us back. But what we need, because we want to reduce unemployment in the region, we're saying, okay, depends on the number of support, the level of support we give to you. You might say, okay, at the end of 1 year or 2 years, we expect you to employ 10 persons or 5 persons. And we'll be monitoring so that we know that 10 persons, 5 persons are off the street, because government alone cannot employ everybody. So we have to create a means of also balancing the system for those dealing with those unemployed people, who some of them are not graduates, but they want to work at that level. If even it is your family members you employ in that your business, they are Niger Deltas, but let it be that they are employed. That means it takes some number out of the street. So for the NDDC Youth Volunteer, we are looking at the option of having a Niger Delta Youth Internship Scheme. And the Niger Delta Youth Internship Scheme, rather than you sitting down in your house having free money, based on the data we have, based on your qualifications that you submitted to us, you must not necessarily be a graduate. Maybe you're interested in sewing, maybe you're interested in hairdressing, maybe you're interested in bead making. We will approach people who are doing all these things, and we'll tell you that, okay, go there, we will be paying you. But let it be that you're going somewhere in the morning and working, and it's going to be contractual. It could be 6 months or 1 year, as the case may be, the internship scheme. So that once the internship scheme, in that process, you're also bound by the contract of the internship scheme. So if you're not also obedient to your employer at that point, you can terminate it, because all that is going to be captured. So people should start having that sense of, subjecting themselves to authority. Most of our people do not know how to subject themselves to authority, because over the years, people have sat down, free money comes to them. Yes, go to work in the morning. That money that you earn freely at home, just go somewhere. We'll be paying you. Maybe at the end of the program, we might have 20 to 30% success, where some of these persons could be, employed by these corporations. Then you talk about the water hyacinth scheme too. Yes, we were also looking at it to see how to balance it, because you see, when people sit down and they get free alerts, we're also looking at how do we engage our youths to grow them from one level to another. Both women too, they must be seen doing something. So instead of them just sitting down and receiving free alert, we can also engage them to say, okay, if this is a hospital, we say, you, for this same money, you are doing the painting. For this same money, you are doing the roofing. For this same money, you are doing the flooring. You might make a profit of 2 million. You might make a profit of 3 million, as the case may be. One other person is doing the roofing. So at the end of the day, we'll see a building that has been renovated by NDDC. At the end of the day, the youth also has money in his pocket. The property has been renovated. Society also benefits from it. So that program, we are calling it the Public and Communal Property Renovation Scheme. It could be the town hall in your community. It could be a police station. It could be a school building. But people should see that, yes, NDDC did this. At that point, it becomes a win-win situation, rather than the money just going down the drain for free.
We have more for you on Kaleidoscope in just a moment when we return, so please don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're still watching Kaleidoscope on Channels Television. We still have the Managing Director and CEO of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Samuel Obuku. But let's find out what his administration plans to do differently.
There's also disturbing observation about how projects are awarded. Some say that they're targeted towards the elites. What is the intention or the aim you have in trying to penetrate at least rural areas to make sure they have legacy projects or interventions? Because those are the people who actually need some of these projects.
Well, I think everything also starts with budgeting. If you follow the act very well, the state governments are also stakeholders in NDDC. The IOCs, they are also stakeholders in NDDC. The communities are also stakeholders in NDDC. So in preparation of our 2024 budget, we are going back to what NDDC used to be. Now, some of the grudge of the IOCs is that there is a gentleman agreement between them and NDDC of locating projects in their areas of operation, because they are complaining of being multi-taxed and they are not even getting the benefit. So we have met with them and we have discussed with them. We said, we are going to do things differently. So in preparing our 2024 budget, we are bringing all stakeholders together. So they have also sent their nominee to also be in the 2024 budget committee to represent their interest, so that as we are preparing the budget, they are also being represented. We have written to all the state governors to also send their nominees. They have sent their nominees. They are also part of the budgeting process. And even in National Assembly too, we also have their own representative. So this budget is going to be the vision of the Niger Delta people. That means it's going to capture the vision of the states, it's going to capture the vision of the IOCs, the National Assembly who are representing us, their vision is also going to be captured. So that if we all come together and complete the work, whenever the president sends it to the National Assembly, they won't have much to do because they contributed from the process. It's what all of us did together. So there won't be an issue of elite project, because this budget is going to be coming from the grassroots, because even the state reps are going to have stakeholders engagement on contributing into the budgeting process. So we just want to ensure that, yes, there is bottom-top approach where every stakeholder is involved. So I think once we get that right, there won't be issue of elite and no elite again.
And during the meeting with the NDDC contractors, first you began by apologizing to them, especially those who had not been paid for some time. What is the NDDC doing to ensure that these people get sorted? Because some of them have used their money to do these projects and they haven't been paid.
Yes, owing contractors, NDDC debt burden is very, very huge. The debt burden is very, very huge, of which if even you pay 200 contractors right now, it would be like putting a grain in the ocean. The debt burden is very, very huge. So what we did was, there are some contractors who probably do not even have transport to come to the commission. We don't even need to bother them. So what we did, we have started doing from 1 million to 5 million. Those with small payments, we have done that. We want to increase it from 1 million to 10 million. We want to take it gradually like that to 20 million, while we're also handling some other bigger payments. Some of those bigger payments we're handling are projects that we want to commission, projects that at least will impact on the people. Because if you see a situation whereby 10 billion naira has been sunk on the project and you need 2 billion naira to add value to it, to commission it, we have to look at those kind of projects too. So we have to balance it. So there are those in the middle too that are also still stranded. But over time we will take care of everybody. I know, yes, most of the contractors are still complaining, but we are doing our best. We cannot reach out to everybody at the moment because the debt burden is very, very huge, that I can tell you.
Let's talk about the public-private partnership, and it's a summit aimed at exploring ways of driving sustainable development in Nigeria's oil-rich region. Now, over the years, NDDC has been brainstorming during several summits implementing things, saying that things will be done, eventually they're not done. So what would you be doing differently this time with this summit?
Well, you know, the funds available to NDDC alone cannot develop the region. That is very, very obvious. Even America too do not depend on the funds from America, as rich as they are. Every country looks at foreign direct investment in terms of development. That is what boosts the IGR of every country. So as a region, we are also looking at other investors coming to invest in the region. NDDC has never explored the option of PPP. And one PPP NDDC did that worked was the Ogbanembe Road, which is still today the biggest project NDDC have embarked on. And being a PPP, it actually saved time and value for money. Because if you don't do it that way, the project drags up to 10 years, you get more variation, and the project becomes too expensive. So I think PPP will also help in saving time and value for money. We are looking at engaging foreign donor agencies like the World Bank, EU, African Development Bank, and we need their support. If you go to northern Nigeria, many states are benefiting from all these agencies. So as a region, with the money we have, we are definitely going to get more mileage in development if we are ready to partner with them. So that is why we are going into the PPP as our core policy focus, because we really want to develop the region vigorously. And we believe once we get it right through the PPP, we are going to do a lot. We can put together a proper PPP framework in line with the federal government rules and regulation, so that NDDC can also start benefiting from PPP projects. Not only PPP projects from the donor agencies, even individuals and private organizations that are willing to partner with NDDC. Most of them are willing. We have already started getting a lot of offers for partnership. Some people are offering to partner with us on the coastal road, the regional coastal road, and some persons are also offering partnership for a regional railway system. So people are open. So we also have to look at these ones, the ones we can actually afford and the ones we cannot afford. So a lot of offers are coming in since we introduced our PPP policy. We believe with PPP, NDDC is going to benefit more, because most of these projects, we are looking at the Warri Escravos road. That road, PPP can handle it. If we want to go into PPP with Chevron and maybe the state government, definitely we can achieve it, because that project has been awarded by NDDC, but right now it is stalled because of lack of fund. But we can partner with all of them. These are the partnership we are looking for. So we can partner with the state government, we can partner with the Chevron. So we are working on all these things, because without that it will be difficult, because the money we have definitely cannot even complete the ongoing and abandoned projects we have. So we have to pick some of them and see how we can partner with interested partners to develop the region.
A forensic audit of the NDDC was done recently, and many people are expecting to hear the result of this audit, but since it's been presented to President Muhammadu Buhari, but no one has heard anything. What is going on really?
Well, I think we have also applied to get the copy of the forensic audit report, which we believe it is going to be given to us very soon. And the good thing about our coming in is because already a forensic audit report has been carried out. So we're going to use it as a guide going forward to do things differently. At least it will give us the opportunity to see how things were done before and how we are going to do things better. That is why the theme of our summit is called Rewind to Rebirth. So let us go back to how things were before. Because you know, they say if you embark on a journey and you miss your way, you just have to go back to your starting point to navigate your way through. So we are trying to navigate our way back to prosperity. That is why we are going back to rebirth. And what we are doing right now is the rebirth of NDDC. Some of us will have ideas of what transpired in the past. We are not going to dwell in the past, because we are not appointed to dwell in the past. We are appointed to move the development of the Niger Delta forward. So we don't want to dwell in the past. For what our predecessors have done, they have their own successes, they have their own failures. It is left for us to pick up from where they stopped, to improve on their successes and correct their failures, so that at least the Niger Delta will move forward. That is the rebirth. So we cannot just keep dwelling in the past, accusing people, you did this, you did that. We believe it is like a relay race. No matter how the person who handed the baton to you was slow, it is left for you to take up the baton and win the race. And I'm assuring you that we are determined to win that race.
Okay, so talking about moving forward, I mean, some people have the opinion that the Niger Delta region should be some sort of Dubai or in the United Arab Emirates. Where do you see your own administration in the NDDC carrying projects to make sure that for the next few years there will be a difference? I'm talking about development and every other thing in the Niger Delta region, which will also affect development in Nigeria.
Well, for us, we believe that if there is peace in the Niger Delta, Nigeria will be more prosperous. So we believe in the prosperity of Nigeria. The Niger Delta is just like the bed of Nigeria, holding Nigeria. So the prosperity is here, and if we make it peaceful, Nigeria will be more prosperous. We'll have increase in crude oil production and the rest of them, because what brought about NDDC was the yearning for development. So we have no choice than to take development to the people. When you talk about Dubai, why don't we create our own Niger Delta for people to make reference to Niger Delta? Yeah. Dubai is a Dubai. Before Dubai, there were other countries. Dubai came up. So Niger Delta could also be another reference. So for me, let us have that vision of creating a Niger Delta and not a Dubai. We'll do our bit. We are looking at the support from the federal government. Once we have the immediate support we expect from the federal government, I can assure you that we have the willpower to do most of the things we intend doing. We just need the federal government support. Some of the support, I think, are not things I want to say on camera. Some of the support, I believe, with the incoming administration, if they can just do those things for us, I can assure you that we'll have some quick win projects that will be legacy project that before the end of the 4 years of the incoming administration, they will see legacy projects that will just rise up in the Niger Delta. We have a formula, but that formula will wait until we discuss with the incoming administration on how we want them to support us in that formula. And I can assure you that if that formula is being implemented, we will not have a problem of underdevelopment in the Niger Delta again. Most of our legacy projects are going to be achieved because we have the resources. It's all about putting that resources together and with the government backing and doing what we want them to do. I can assure you that we can achieve it. We can create our own Niger Delta, where people will say, this is what Niger Delta is all about.
And with that, we end Kaleidoscope for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, watch past editions on youtube.com/channelsweb. Click on playlist, then scroll to Kaleidoscope. Thanks again for watching today. I'm Anne Nwawadu. See you soon.